While the majority of the Springbok squad arrived in London ahead of their 5-match November tour on Monday, some players were here last week already, those who play their club rugby in Japan, as they hadn't had the opportunity to play for their clubs following the Castle Lager Rugby Championship. One of those players is Kwagga Smith, who's not only excited to be back in the Springbok camp ahead of this 5-match tour, but also someone who's able to bring some additional insight to the team they face at Wembley on Saturday.
Yeah, obviously we had a few weeks off after the Rugby Championship to relax and spend some time with family, and then we flew out on the Tuesday last week, got here Wednesday morning, had a bit of a flush session, and then we trained quite hard for 8 guys or 9 guys. Always difficult, but I must say Felix and Andy and all of them and Tony, they really made it work, and we trained hard on Thursday and Friday, and Saturday morning just at the gym. So I think for us it was really good to get back here, get back into things. We haven't been playing with our club, so we're actually on the same page as where we left off, which is nice. We didn't have any other calls or other rugby to play, so pretty much feels like we're still in Springbok camp, just with a little bit of a break in between. So it's good for us to get here, get back into things, and yeah, looking forward to the week.
Has there been more of a requirement from you being based where you are playing your club rugby for intelligence heading into this week's game?
Yeah, obviously I've been in Japan for 7 seasons now, and there's a few guys that's also been playing there for quite a while. So we know the players quite well and have a few friends on the Japanese side obviously also. But I think we saw last weekend what they did against Australia. I think they're definitely a quality team, and they're a team that's starting to rise. Obviously they're also building for the World Cup in 2027. So I think Eddie is also doing well with the Japanese team. We know he's done it in the past with them. So I think definitely they're players we need to look out for, and we need to make sure we're well prepared for the game.
They sprang a major surprise in 2015, we all know that. But in 2019, those last 2 games in Kumagaya and then in the quarterfinal of Rugby World Cup, it was Springbok physical dominance that won the day ultimately. Do you think they are growing as a team in that regard in order to counter that physicality?
Yeah, I think definitely they're a quality team. I think if you look at that World Cup in 2019, they beat Ireland, they beat Scotland. I think they were a good team and they're able to do it. I think they're not going to be this physical team, but I think they've brought in a few foreign-based players that plays for Japan now, like Dylan Riley, that's outside centre, that's a really physical guy and really good player. So I think they're getting the blend right of getting a bit of physicality in, but also just staying true to the Japanese, playing fast and playing quick rugby.
Let's move back to Springbok focus. In the last 2 seasons, you've started a couple of games at 8, but you do seem to just relish that role. Some describe it as causing a bit of havoc when you come off the bench, but lifting the pace, lifting the energy.
Yeah, definitely. I think for me, any opportunity to put on that green jersey, it's just a massive honor. So I want to use every opportunity. You never know when it's finished. So for me, it's just when I get onto that pitch to get stuck in as quick as possible. If it's limited time, you never know. You might get 5 minutes, you might get 30 minutes or 40 minutes. But for me, it's to get into the game as quick as possible, because then you can start playing the rugby. And as soon as you start thinking you want to get into the game, it's already too late. So getting into it as quick as possible is most important for me. Yeah.
And one of the standards that this coaching group sets is around something called battle rates, where Kwagga Smith rates very highly. Just tell us a bit about battle rates and what counts as a battle that you get into.
Yeah, I think Russ and them implemented to obviously measure work rate. That's basically what it is. And it's literally every battle you get into, that's one battle, and they take the amount of time you play. So for me, if I play 30 minutes and I get into 30 battles, then obviously it's a good battle rate. So it drives you also as a player. We're not all about stats, and that's the most important thing. But for us, at least you can measure it now, because that's the important thing. No one else actually measured that work rate or battle rate. And I think them implementing it now, then you can actually see, listen, was I a bit off this game? Wasn't I working as hard as I should be working? So we all have our averages and our PBs, our personal best. So we try and obviously stick within that and make sure we get a good work rate on the field.
And just finally, how important for you as a playing group to test yourselves 5 consecutive weeks against 5 quite different opponents?
Yeah, definitely. I think this tour is a big tour for us. It's going to be a lot of matches, but I think it's going to be a good test also because I mean, you look at Japan, they almost beat Australia last weekend. Australia beat us in the first game in the Rugby Championship. So I think from the first game to the last game, it's going to be really big battles. And like you say, it's quite different games, different teams playing against. But I think for us, we want to measure ourselves and we want to be successful because this is very similar to a World Cup where you have 5 games in a row and you want to make sure that you use the squad but also reach the success and the goals you set for yourself.